Your ex ghosted you, and it's something very, very frequent amongst my clients and amongst the people I help in this community. And you understand that very often, of course, it's really hard to understand, it's really hard to accept. You might be thinking that it's very disrespectful, that you don't understand that person anymore. But in this video, I will explain you what's going on in their mind, the reason they're actually ghosting you, and what you should be doing if you want to get back with someone who ghosted you. Take go.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So first of all, what you're going through is that feeling of rejection, and feeling of rejection sucks. We hate to be rejected. You don't necessarily need to be a people pleaser to hate rejection, but it is something that you have, when someone ghosts you. You feel it's very disrespectful. And very often I hear from my clients when I'm on the phone with them, how can someone I've been with for so many years is able to do that? She must be a narcissist. She must be like manipulating. Maybe he or she lied to me for so many years. They don't care about me. How come they're able to close the door? How come they're able to vanish like this so quickly? So how they end up ghosting? The reason is something built up in your ex's mind. Something about you and her or him. Maybe they felt, yeah, you're not listening. I've told you this and that about our relationship, but you're not listening. Or things like, we never talk, we never have that quality time, we never had that intimacy. You're taking me for granted, our relationship is now boring, there's no excitement. All this kind of stuff has built up in their mind. And therefore the relationship becomes difficult. It used to be an happy place for your partner where they were gaining energy, where they were fulfilled, where they're happy. Now it's different. And it's why they decide to end the relationship. Because it's difficult, because it's not progressing, because it's not going where they want to be. This is applicable if your relationship, what I'm going to tell you after, is applicable if you have a strong relationship, if you have strong foundations. If you're not sure whether you have any chance to get back with your ex, you can take the quiz, which it's totally free first. It takes 2 minutes, and the link is in the first comment of the video and also in the description. And it gives you a score, basically, telling you if you have any chance or not. If you have a score above 15, it means that you have foundations that are strong enough that your situation is in the right direction for you to get back with your ex. Because if you're not, if you have below 15, your ex probably ghosted you the same way and you've been in that case, and I've been in that case, when you start dating, you're on Tinder, you go on 1, 2 dates, and the person you were dating is ghosting you because they're simply not interested in you anymore. In this context, in this community of people who have had strong relationships, that's slightly different, because ghosting is different, because ghosting means something different. It means that your ex is scared. It's really about fear. I know anytime I speak with my clients, it's really about fear. Because it's just for them a coping mechanism. It's, in a way, a shortcut to avoid difficult conversations. And if you think about it, was it easy for you to have a conversation with your partner? Did you feel that anytime you were talking about deep stuff, it was escalating to a fight? Did you feel that your ex, when you were together, was sort of trying to always escape this kind of conversations, right? It could be because also you made the breakup harder than it had to be. You begged, you pleaded, you spammed them, and therefore the only way for them to really send you the message that they want that space is to ghost you. So what you have to understand right now is if they ghosted you, it's probably because they need space. And that's what I do, and that's what I say in my videos after a breakup. If you want to reclaim and if you want to work on getting back with your ex, you need to allow a little bit of space. Other people call it, and I call it, no contact. It's really important for your ex to have that space, and they're forcing this by ghosting you, right? What you have to understand, and it's probably very hard to accept that people is ghosting you, but the good news is it's not because of you. The good news is not because you, unless you really, you really went too far in terms of spamming, but in reality, in most cases, it's really about their insecurity. Maybe they're anxious and they don't want to get hurt, and so they prefer to stay away. Maybe they're avoidant and they have this tendency to walk away, to avoid any conversation, who don't want to talk with you. It means that they're overwhelmed by the breakup. You know, you might be thinking that because they took the decision, it's easy for them, but in reality, it's not necessarily as hard for them and it's hard for you, but it's also hard for them and it could be overwhelming, and therefore they need that space. Another reason is perhaps they have a low emotional intelligence, a low EQ. Maybe they don't understand that by ghosting you, they make you suffer. By ghosting you, they come across as disrespectful. So it could be the case. It's different than insecure attachment style. And low EQ could be a bit of immaturity. And some people have just that low EQ and that's it. What you should not do, and we'll go after, and I'll explain to you after what you should do, of course, but what you should not do is to push harder. And I know you're watching this video, you feel like, yes, but deep inside, I know that I can find the right words. I know that, I can show up and convince her or convince him. I know that, I can push harder. There must be a way, there must be a magic formula for him or her to reply. Well, if that's the case, please let me know, because there aren't any magic formulas. If someone decided to ghost you, what's going to happen is that the more you push, the more they pull away. It's exactly always the same. So what you have to avoid is really to isolate yourself, thinking that, it's because of me, I'm no good, I'm never going to find anyone, I want that alone time, I want to feel and stay alone, I want to really get into the depressive mode. And sometimes I've been like that. When you're like depressed, you feel like, yeah, I just want to feel depressed, you really hit the bottom, which is fine if it's temporary, right? So really try to have people around you, a support system, and we'll go after that on the next slide explaining what to do. Also, another thing that's not helpful is dwell on the past, thinking that they ghosted you because of what you did and what you said. Perhaps that's the case, but dwelling on the past won't change anything. Of course, you can reflect, of course, you can try to understand what you need to work on, but blaming yourself for the reason for them ghosting you is the wrong approach, because as we discussed, they're not ghosting you because of you, they're ghosting you because of their insecurity. Now, what you should do, because you can't directly break this cycle, as we discussed, the more you push, the more they pull. You have to look after your mental and your physical health. It's the top priority right now. Stop trying to control something you can't control. Stop trying to, again, look after this magic formula. And perhaps there are videos online or articles from people who claim that there's a magic formula to get, and actually on my videos there are quite few comments of guru and doctors who can spell some magic on your ex. Well, let me know if it works. I doubt it does. What you have to do is to, accept your feelings. That's okay to feel sad. That's okay to feel rejected. But don't let those feelings drive your behavior, drive your actions. Be proactive. If you feel down, find some support to help you out. Find a therapist. Find a group of friends. From activities that brings you energy. Also in terms of your physical health, be active. You don't necessarily need to apply to a gym or join a gym or things like that, but just like go out for a walk, be outside, be active, be mobile, because the more you stay alone, the more you stay isolated, the more depressed you feel, the more anxious you'll feel, and the more negative thoughts you'll have entering your mind. So it's really about being proactive and filling up this bucket of thoughts with positive thoughts. It's the only way that works. It's proven scientifically. The best way, our brain or attention is like a bucket. If you are proactive at filling this bucket with positive thoughts, with positive things, then you won't have space anymore for negative thoughts, for dwelling on the past, for thinking what are they thinking, what are they doing. things like that. Okay, be proactive. It's the only way, it's the only thing you can control right now. You have to leave some space. It's really important for you to understand that ghosting is a message in a way. It's a message that they need that space right now. Again, if you have a strong foundation, if your relationship is recoverable, it doesn't mean that it's over that they're ghosting. It just means yes, they need that space. It's going to be temporary and you'll be able to reconnect. Because that's the idea. A lot of people say that you should never ever break no contact. I think it's dangerous to have this approach. When you feel it's ready, you're ready, and you have to wait a few weeks, you can test the water and see whether they respond or not. Again, if they care for you and they have this time to reconstruct themselves, to feel more secure, they will reply. They will make that effort to reply. If they ignore you, then you have to really reflect and think whether that relationship is worth pursuing, right? If you have any other question, if you want to talk with me, there's a link as well to have a chat with me. I have few calls in my diary when I can have a chat with you for free. If you found that video was helpful and sort of energized you and felt like the world is not as bad and ghosting is really not about me, don't hesitate to leave a like button and leave a comment, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.